So what is up, guys? Welcome back to the Epic Boys Fishing Channel. So while I'm up here re-rigging some of my rods and reels from last week's tournament, I figured now would be a good time to tell you guys exactly how Chad and I caught over 30 pounds of fish in 5 hours on Lake Lanier to get third place in the Hammond's Digital Tournament last week. What an awesome experience. Really cool that Jacob Wheeler fished the tournament as well. I'm going to show you guys exactly what lures we used to catch these fish. There was only 4 of them. First and foremost, and probably the most consistent producer, was a good old drop shot. Now, I know a lot of guys don't like to throw a drop shot. It's too finessey. They think it only catches small fish. Well, I think the complete opposite. I love throwing a drop shot. Chad loves throwing a drop shot, and it absolutely will catch some giant spotted bass this time of the year when the fish are hanging around those brush piles. So on this setup, I'm throwing a 7-foot medium action rod, and I've got that set up with a Stratic by Shimano. Probably the most important aspect of this is going to be the line and the leader. We've got the X12 Braid on there. We've got a 8-pound fluorocarbon leader paired up here. We like to throw this on a 3/8 ounce or a 1/4 ounce tungsten teardrop weight. For us, it just works the best. It doesn't get hung up that often. And you can absolutely feel the brush piles. You can feel the bottom if you're on rock, everything with that tungsten. So this is the hook that we use for drop shot fishing. It's gonna be an owner cover shot hook in the number 2 size. This thing is absolutely fire because it gives you the ability to Texas rig hook your drop shot worms. It's got a little keeper right there towards the eye. So if you want to, you can Texas rig it. All right, guys, so the second lure that we use to catch a lot of our big fish was gonna be just a fluke. Of course, if you fish Lanier, you're gonna be fishing a fluke this time of the year. But we set ours up a little bit differently. We've got it on a medium action spinning rod with another Stratic and X12 Braid. The braid is great for fluke fishing because you can absolutely cast it a mile if you're not using a weight. We don't use a swivel or anything. I've got an 8-pound leader on there as well. And what's unique about the way we fish this is instead of Texas rigging or nose hooking the fluke, we actually use an owner number 3 hook, and we actually feed the fluke directly on there. So as you can see, when I turn this sideways, it's just fed through there like a swim bait. Cool part about that is you're not gonna sling off these flukes like you do when you nose hook them, and your hookup ratio is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be off the charts. With this setup in particular, as you can see, if they hit anywhere in the middle of the hook or above, you're gonna hook that fish up. And I think we went 4 for 4 or 5 for 5 with the hits that we got on this setup. All right, guys, now we're moving into some of the fun stuff, power fishing. So if you follow any of the Facebook groups on Lake Lanier, I'm sure by now you've seen either at Hammond's or on Facebook, this bait right here. This is something very unique. It's brand new. It's only been out on the market for a little while. It's kind of a hard-bodied fluke. So the body is hard, and then it's got a tail that you can attach to it as well. So you can take this off, put different types of tails on there if you want. I like the fluke style tail that comes on there when you buy it directly from Hammond's. So just leave that on there as well. But this comes in a variety of different colors. I like the white, of course, on Lanier. Anything white is gonna get bit regardless of what you're throwing. So I stick with the white, and I've got that paired up with a Shimano SLX DC, 10-pound fluorocarbon, so you can absolutely throw it a mile. So I've got that paired up with a 6/8 St. Croix jerkbait rod. This rod is specific for jerkbait fishing. On it, you can work it a bunch of different ways. You can work it fast, you can work it slow, it'll dart back and forth. So it just absolutely gets bit. The fish haven't seen it a whole lot, so it's a great addition to your tackle box if you want something new. That's made by Southern Hook Lures, so go check them out. They have them at Hammond's, or you can go to their website directly. Last but certainly not least is gonna be the Epic lure that has helped us catch some absolute monsters this year on topwater. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Of course, it's the Cast OG. This lure has helped us catch so many 4-pounders this year, it's ridiculous. And I've actually caught 3 fish over 5 pounds, 3 spotted bass over 5 pounds specifically on this lure. Look at this thing, it's thrashed, it's all torn up. I mean, we've had so many spots hit this thing, it's ridiculous. So this is the Cast 20-gram OG. So I know there's a 30-gram and a 40-gram as well that's out. I, in particular, like the smaller one. I feel like you're gonna get more hits that way. So I've got this thing paired up. I do put a swivel on there as well. So as you can see there, there's a swivel attached to it and a split ring. I like to have that on there. It gives it a little more flexibility. It'll dart down underwater and pop back up. But the cool thing about this is you can work it a variety of different ways as well, especially when you pair it on a medium heavy action rod. And again, I've got a Shimano SLX DC on here, and I've got 14-pound fluorocarbon line on there. This bait just absolutely shines in a lot of different conditions. We've caught them on flat water, we've caught them in windy conditions, sunny, cloudy, it doesn't matter. It just has that unique bubble trail, and the lure pops up, and when it's sitting there, the head is sticking up out of the water, and they will absolutely come up and smash it. And what we're doing on this, as far as how to fish it, a lot of people have asked us, what are you doing to fish that thing? Pretty simple. I mean, if you watch any of our videos, we've posted quite a few catching some big fish on this thing. It's just a long throw out there. I hold the rod tip directly in the direction that I casted, and I point it directly at it. I don't hold the rod tip up, I don't hold it down, I just point it directly at it, and I'll burn it 3 or 4 times. Let it sit. Burn it 3 or 4 times and let it sit. And what that's doing is it's pulling that lure directly under the water. It's doing a big S kick, and then it's popping up out of the water and sitting there. And it looks like a herring trying to get away from a predator. So a lot of times you'll get hit with it just sitting there. So you don't necessarily have to work it super fast. Those fish are gonna see that bubble trail, and that's what they're gonna chase. So I definitely recommend you picking up a few of the cast OGs and start throwing those over brush piles. All right, guys, so that's gonna be a wrap for today's video. I hope those 4 lures will help you put more fish in the boat this year as we continue to go through the summer. I'm gonna link all the lures that I used in the description of the video today so you guys can go check them out, especially the Fickle bait by Southern Hook Lures. That's awesome. It's a new bait. The fish haven't seen it a whole lot, so I definitely recommend checking those guys out. And also Cast. I mean, they're a great lure company to work with. Ryan Hakes and his whole entire team. Very, very nice people, good people to do business with, and they're growing. So I would definitely recommend checking them out as well. They make amazing lures that are super unique to the industry, and they'll definitely help you catch some of those bigger bass. Appreciate all the support, everybody. Make sure and like and comment and subscribe if you're not already subscribing to the YouTube channel. We're gonna continue to do these types of videos. When we have successful days, I wanna push that information out there. I wanna help others catch more fish, not only on Lake Lanier, but we've done one recently on Hartwell. We fished Altoona a couple of weeks ago and caught a bunch of fish there. So we're gonna be doing a bunch of these types of videos to help you put more fish in the boat and have a good time. Appreciate it.